And this is more training than you could do in a week. Literally this experience. And the more you do this come here every week. If you know you got 5 things for a weekend project, then spread it 5 trips. And he'll end up having 10 things or 20 things at the end, but keep the receipts. And that's why these places are great. And that's why that's one of the reasons why I come here, I shop here, and I deal with the pluses and the minuses of places like this, because they provide this kind of opportunity for us to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So don't be afraid to do that. So now what I'm going to teach you is how for her to start respecting your space. All right? So I was teaching you this pull leaf method, right? So when I want to teach Rambo to move back, I'm going to go move, back, 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 back. I don't care where he goes as long as he goes out of my way. All right? So what I did to engage that was I put him here, and I took the leash and I stood in front of him, because this would be great if they're at the door, they want to bolt out of the way. Go back, 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 back. Thank you. Now give him his full 6 legs. Don't correct him or anything. All I'm teaching him is that this is now the space you have to give me, because this teaches respect. Then I go, Rambo, come on, and a little tug.
Shuffle your feet towards her feet.
All right, once she's turned away from you, she's like, I don't know where you want me to go, but...
Okay, yeah. I noticed the confusion there. And it
yeah,
was within me too.
as long as she's out of the way, then I want you, because all you can give them is 6 feet.
Okay.
And then that's all you want. Because eventually what you can do at home...
Back.
There you go.
Good.
Now once you're back at home, you can send her to the other room. Go, 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 go. Get out of my way is what I'm telling you.
Gotcha, okay.
Just in this place or in any public place, you have to relate your leash. And once the dog releases or acquiesces to his positioning, then the dog will everything becomes yours. And that's now. You've got 6 feet of leash and that dog's staying right where you need it to. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Back. Back.
Oh.
Back. Back. Back.
So now, once the dog's far enough away where this isn't effective, now just use shoo, 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 fly, shoo, 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 shoo. It's an animal. You can just shoo it away. That's what we want. It's the predator that says, I ain't moving. It's the predator or the baby rooster that says, I got him out of your way. And then you got to force to reckon with when you got a baby rooster. The dog's the easy part. The rooster, not so much. Thank you, Uncle Dave. Rest in peace. Yes, and I love them. They're great, but that's a predator mindset.
Yeah.
And it's mine. I own this. Well, then you be the baby rooster. Come on. So now I'm gonna walk past you. I'll stay right there.
Attention on me.
Feel.
Good girl. Up.
Now I'm gonna sit next to you. But no pressure. Sit. Sit right there. And then relax it. Give an opportunity to correct. Sit. Once he did it, the command's over with. The duration is expected until I say the next command. So just chill. So when she wants to get up, that's when you can just go, and then she'll go, siéntate. Siéntate. And remember, we're doing this, we're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Because we both got 2 idiots.
Yeah.
Right? We got both that are 2 in training, that are at the same mindset mentally. So don't think that this is an example, nor that isn't an example.
Gotcha.
Both are successes in their own right. And we can't discount them of that. That is beautiful. That dog's just now learning to be off.
That's a quality animal there, too.
That is. No, it's an idiot.
It's an idiot, but He's got a good head start.
He did, and then and that's what you're doing. I mean, he's a year old, so this one's
6 months.
6 months.
Yesterday.
All right. Imagine what 6 months will be, that dog will be. That's when they start training gun dogs.
Yes.
They don't even start working line dogs or gun dogs until the dog is a year old.
Okay.
While you can try desensitization and stuff like that, we don't want it. We don't necessarily want to force that because we're asking good damn. No. And all I want him to do is acquiesce to me, yield to me, not because I'm God, but because I asked. That's it. And I didn't have to do anything other than act, and he goes, all right, fine, I'll sit. Because sit is neutral, meaning if the car's creeping forward and you're in stick, just throw it back in neutral, it ain't gonna move, tap the brakes. That's it. Now we're tapping the brakes. That's all we're doing. So, good. And the squeaking and stuff like that, that's excitement, that's
Insecurity.
It's insecurity,
It's lack of a language.
It's the only way she can communicate
Right.
her excitement. She's like, I don't know what you want me to do, but I'm excited to do whatever it is you want me to do. You want me to go kill something? I'll kill something, boss. You want me to go fetch something? I'll fetch something, boss. It needs direction. It needs direction. How you doing? So there's a great example of reaction.
Good job.
Now, one of the things that I did, look for the fuse before the ball. I saw him out of the corner of my eye. I immediately gave him way to him, and then I went down here, and all I did was wait. And as the dog wanted to start following, I just went, I was tapping it. I was just tapping it. This is the finite stuff. When you start to think about communication, sometimes it's like, it's a whisper, like you don't need to worry about it. Because that guy is comfortable around dogs, all right? Or he wouldn't have just walked right through here. Most people that aren't really all that comfortable or don't understand what's going on here are gonna go around the other way. All right, so that's a gentleman that at least got enough to understand. I'm not worried about it.
Well, he read the situation.
He read it, he understood it. And then he, and all we did was acquiesce to him. So one of the things that you do is when you come here, take 5 minutes, check your phone, but stand in front of the front door. Far enough out away, maybe over by the benches or over by the flower, and just let people come back and forth. When someone says, oh, it's such a cute dog, and they start giving attention, just say, oh yeah, we're in training. Try to be as nice as you can, because people don't understand this, but what you're trying to do is help the dog, because they say, oh, can I pet your dog?
Oh, no.
And then they start doing that stuff, and then that screws everything up.
It does.
But that's what I don't say that's what you want, but it is what you want. You need distractions because you need teachable moments. Lowe's front door is a teachable moment every time someone walks in. Or if you think that that's too much, go stand on the other side of the entranceway where people are walking down the main thoroughfare to cross the street or to cross over the little driveway there, and just use that until you start seeing this behavior. The more you desensitize the dog, it's going to be bored. And that's what we want.
Yeah.
It's going to be bored. So when you want to sit there and talk, well, maybe we should put shingles on our roof. So then this is a great place to go sit there and just stare at shingles and go, this is going to cost me a lot of money. That's,
Start it again. Oh, she's got some bad ones.
Yeah, I smell stinky earballs. I got a bag. I'm prepared.
Tractor Supply.
Good place.
This lady at the checkout, and that's a narrow, it's a choke point.
Mm-hmm.
I can identify most everything that's gonna freak the dog out. She's doing very well. The lady's complimenting the dog. It's a beautiful dog. Do you mind if I pet her? And
It's hard.
as polite as she was, I was every bit as polite, and I said, I prefer you didn't. She said, well, I recognize the dog's in training, so that's why I asked. And I'm like,
That's not. And bless her for understanding that.
Yes.
And she wants to, and people do, because the same, dopamine fix that we get when I get a beer or I get chocolate cake is the same thing people get when they pet a dog. Oh, the cute little puppy, and it's just that little happiness. Dogs, just when you go to a mall or something, I used to stand out when we actually had that. We'd stand out at the plaza down by Lake Mead and Rainbow, and I would just literally sit in front of a whole dog. a beauty store.
Yeah.
On the outside and lean against, and I'd let all the people go back and forth, the shoppers, and
All the
every
ladies.
young woman, oh, so cute, 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 cute. Not that they wanted a pet, but they knew the dog was working, and it would fire the dog up, and I'd go, and all I would work is on finite communication. That's desensitizing them to the environment, regardless of what the environment is. And as a young puppy, they are allowed to make more mistakes. As an older dog, we can't have this behavior. Then the corrections have to get more, they have to get harder, or they have to get more creative. So when she breaks, put her back in the sit. And as long as off is off and on is on, whether the dog's laying down or sitting, I don't really care. Off is off and on is on. As long as you're not dancing around and being a goofy, if you're tired, eventually, these are the two commands the dogs know instinctively. Sitting down. Okay? And then once again, before you want to do the first correction, give them enough to hang themselves first. Let me give you, make sure you clearly understand and hold that pressure on. Because you're hoping the word is going to do to get the action.
Okay.
It's not the word that's going to get the action early on, it's the pressure.
And you want to hold that pressure and don't instant release it. Slowly release it. As you breathe out and you're, yes, on your exhale, just slowly release it instead of snapping to let the pressure go.
It's, you know what it's like? It's like when you're firing a gun. All right, you have your trigger. If you're not smooth and consistent and have steady, that's discipline.
Yeah.
That is the actual discipline of the firearm. And so holding the position and practicing in that. But you get someone that just walks in there, and pops off around, you're gonna know you were like 10 yards away. You didn't even hit the paper target.
Right.
It's the side of a house. Who's going to give you, if there's an advocation for gun laws, that would be a good one. Because you hit everybody but the one. Unless you're trying to scare them with the noise and shoot it up in the air and run.
Right.
So it's developing that consistency. And the consistency is only through the repetition, is the mother of skill. Is practice, and then muscle memory. Muscle memory. I remember one of the things that my instructor would always tell me, at 22, I almost damn near shot off my foot. Because he would do this, he was New Hampshire's firearms instructor when they first got the Glock. He's got the first series of Glocks ever issued out. New Hampshire was the first ones to go to semi-automatics and revolvers. So he comes in, he says, I brought my pistol out, and he said, no, he gave me an old 22. And he said, I want you to practice cock and shoot. Practice cock and shoot. I need you to build this up. And then once I got that, he'd start going, all right, he had a bunch of little targets out. One was like an iron spade, and one was a fat cowboy, and hearts, and club of hearts, and clubs. And then he'd have them spread across the field, and then he'd start rattling off. And then bam, bam, bam. And then all of a sudden, I got screwed up, and I got screwed up in the motion, and bam, a 22 went right through the boot, grazed right past my foot. Shot my foot, right to the boot. And he said, but because I stand funny because of my leg, the only thing that saved me was my cockeyed stance. Because I would sit like this. Had I been like this, what a shot was my foot right down here into my foot.
Right.
And, he said, so now we learned a lesson. He says, it's not how fast it can be done, but how competent and how, he goes, that a second here versus a second here isn't going to matter. A second is a second is a second. It's a moment in time. Take a second and a quarter to get yourself together and get your stance together. Because the chances are the guy that's shooting back at you is less experienced than you are. And so his first few shots are going to be all over the side of the building and never at you.
Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Exactly. Now you got it. Take that attitude with how you work the dog and slowly practice.
Okay.
Just practice, and then bring her to the range. And let her hang out at the range. And let her screw up. That's what the range is for. It's meant for people to screw up. That's why we have targets. And then we judge and we have points. And then as we get better, we get more competent. And then we get to develop our skills to where we're comfortable, competent, and we know that we can safely handle the potential of harm or to the dog or to someone else. I don't look at a dog any different than I look at a gun.
Yeah.
All right? because they are wild animals. They are just 1% away from making a poor choice. Domestication or their instinctual natural side. They're 1% away from making a poor choice. Let's practice and make sure that we are managing that finite line properly, competently, and confidently.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it. And look, as we're talking, this is where the magic happens. Do you realize, as we're talking about something completely that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, the dogs are going back. Guys, it's a 6-month puppy. It's going to be a fucktard. Doesn't mean we accept it now. Now that's where you go. When she starts doing that, that's fight.
That's
right?
fight?
Yeah, when she starts trying to paw it off, it's
Okay.
fight. So what I want you to do is go,
And just lift up slowly to hold pressure
and then
on.
when she leans into you, relax pressure, and hey, I'm not, we're not dating here. I made a comment next to him when he leaned into me. I'm like, hey, we're not dating here. Back off. All right, personal space. You like it, I like it. Let's keep it that way. And you'll start seeing when because watch the dog, because the dog's watching you all the time.
Yeah.
And it's going, well, what do you need me to do next, boss? What do you need? Because everybody's like, oh, such a good puppy, such good. We're always in these little 1-second bites. And so this conversation is teaching Rambo, I need off. But what's teaching Rambo this conversation happened long before we ever came in here. It happened in the crate. And that's why we use the crate. The crate isn't a bad thing. The crate is a good thing.
Oh,
The
she
crate
loves
is,
her.
yes, and just let her hang out. I mean, the more off they get, the more on they get. Plus, 6-month puppies, they need like 18 hours of sleep. So try to give them that.
Well, she doesn't get a treat that's not given in the crate.
There you go.
She doesn't eat outside of the. Hey. She doesn't eat outside of her crate. She There, Andy, your patience and mine too.
It could be she has good potty.
She might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
So nothing happens, nothing good, except for our little playtime on the lawn, happens outside of that crate.
let's move towards that with that direction. So if she does do us, then
Do you have
yeah.
bags?
I got
I
one.
do.
All right, I appreciate
I got them in my troop bag.
As a matter of fact, I got a Lowe's bag.
Well, you talk about
Guys, I have a Lowe's bag.
Oh, mine's Walmart.
you talk about unprepared, right?
I always come prepared. Assume the worst. It's the Boy Scout motto: be prepared.
Yeah, right.
Just assume the worst and expect it to happen. And be prepared for it. I hope you got that on video, Trace.
I did.
I want to say that. So, see, Lowe, I just got here. Not just using the store for this nice, cool air conditioning and quiet aisle. That's why the contractor section is so great. At this time of day or at night, because this place at 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning is a nightmare.
Now she sees the door, so I just shorten up the leash since we know she has to go